welcome you all. I'm Ravi Bellamkonda. I'm the Dean of Engineering here in the Pratt School of Engineering at Duke. It's a really, really special occasion. I'm so happy to be here with you. To start off, I'd like to basically acknowledge all the parents, the uncles, aunts, brothers, sisters, nephews in the audience. I know it takes sacrifice, support, nudging, support again to get here, and I really think none of our students would be here without you, so thank you so much for what you do. Next, I'd like to acknowledge all our faculty, staff, that help our students on their journeys here at Duke, and if you could please acknowledge our faculty on the stage. And lastly, I'd like to congratulate our class of amazing students here. So, it's a very special time to be an engineer in the world. Fundamentally, I believe, engineering, we think, is about math, but it's really about problem solving. It is really about having an attitude of saying, given certain constraints, can we make this situation better? And that's the beauty of a graduate education compared to an undergraduate education, where you're able to abstract what kinds of problems you can solve. And I know that in today's world, we need people literate in technology, facile in its use, and having the wisdom to make a difference, and I know you have very, very bright futures ahead of you. So congratulations again. And the last thing I'll tell you is that you're now part of a very special family of Duke engineers, and you will always be a part of Duke engineering. So wherever your journeys take you in the future, please come back, stay in touch, and help the next generation that follows you as they come along. And you're part of a very, very special network at Duke Engineering. So congratulations, we have a fantastic session ahead of you, and my warm welcome to all of you again, all right? So.
Now we would like to invite Matthew Hawkins, a Master of Engineering student from the Department of Mechanical Engineering and Material Science forward. He is our student speaker at today's event.
Thank you, Dr. Fox, and good morning to all of the proud families and relieved, potentially under-caffeinated graduates. My name is Matt, and I, like many of you, am a futurist. I think about tomorrow a lot, and I imagine a world where the people in this room have embraced their training to create technology responsible for a new prosperity in global society. Part of being a forward thinker, as the Duke Curriculum champions, is visualizing what we want to see or build in the future and acting towards those visions today. The same mantra can also be applied, however, to an anticipation of what we may feel in the future. And so I now believe that we engineers must do something that we stereotypically try to avoid. We must talk about our feelings. Sometime from now, all of us will inevitably see some kind of Duke apparel in an airport, at a sporting event, or at a grocery store. But what will each of us be struck to remember? More likely than not, the memories of tomorrow will come from what I understand to be the big stuff of our time here at Duke. The thesis defenses, the projects, the business proposals, the West Union food, and sure, whatever chaotic word you would use to describe those basketball games. Let us not forget, though, that we students are not the only ones whose memories can be triggered by the sight of a random Duke shirt in public. For example, if you're someone who has worked with us here at Duke, you may recall all the times that your mentorship yielded innovation. Or, of course, if you're one of the family members with us here today, the sight of that capital D would probably remind you of how relieving it was to first realize you would never need to wear any apparel from that other school down the road. All the same, as this room now officially recognizes the certification of new engineering masters, I believe that it's critical to note that the emotional impact of our time here at Duke is rooted in the details of our journey here, not just what the major outcomes we are celebrating are. By looking deeper into how we feel sitting in these cumbersome robes, I want to propose that any of the happy memories we carry with us are actually a tangible contextualization for the gratitude that we harbor in this transitional moment. Further, I offer that this spirit arises from an abundance of small, seemingly inconsequential events cultivated by three main entities that we must now acknowledge. First, the people who got us here, our parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, and siblings. From before we could even create memories, the people sitting around us have been making small sacrifices to help us earn a diploma from this incredible university. It's not just the bailout money for when we under-budget monthly food spending or the lengthy phone calls to discuss worries of the future, but the incremental support that they gave us every night in grade school to not only make sure our homework was done, but that we were actually learning from it. The small action that these people have done for more than 2 decades add up to the achievement that we are celebrating today. So I'd like to take this time for all of us to once again thank our families for what they've done to get us here. Next, we must acknowledge the subtle but consistent influence of those who have developed us here at Duke, our professors, staff, and administrators. Any one of us could find a textbook and eventually be able to understand its concepts. The reason that we are even here, then, is not to simply attend lectures, but to absorb their energy and support in the lab, on the sidewalk, or in line for coffee at Twinnies. These people chose to turn their talents towards our development, and their informal insights are the true building blocks of what we will leave Duke with. So, to those sitting behind me, we are immensely grateful. Finally, we will surely remember the people who grew with us through this wild experiment, our fellow students, friends, and partners. It's not just the conferences or final presentations that we feel grateful for, but the laughs at tailgates and watch parties, the free afternoons spent at Pratt Chat discussing would-be spoilers of Avengers or Game of Thrones, and the euphoria of debating with oneself about whether or not to ask a basketball player for a selfie. These immediate people who we've surrounded ourselves with are responsible for the macroscopic memories we leave Duke with because of their microscopic actions. And it is appreciation for these types of details that I hope I've been able to catalyze within all of us today. So yes, the big things are great, and we'll surely remember them much more than the student who spoke at graduation. But I urge us all to consider that these small things, the ones not saved on a resume, in an Instagram post, or even in the front of our minds, are the absolute foundation for the memories that we will recall when that spirit of Duke University inevitably reemerges. And, what is more, they are the true reason we are now ready for a future worth embracing. Best wishes to you all. Thank you for being a part of this journey, and go Duke.
Thank you very much, Matthew, and thanks for reminding us that it's not only the big things, but the little things that matter. So at this point, I would like to introduce our commencement speaker. It is Dr. Caterina Gallippi. She's an associate professor at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, NC State University Joint Department of Biomedical Engineering. She holds a Bachelor of Science in Engineering and Electrical Engineering from Princeton University and a PhD in Biomedical Engineering from Duke University, one of our own. So, very good, yes, absolutely. Her research interests are in ultrasound technology development, and her group has developed novel approaches to imaging atherosclerosis, renal disease, musculoskeletal disorders, and breast cancer. In addition to her research, Dr. Gallippi serves in many leadership roles, including the Director of Graduate Studies for her department and President of the American Institute of Ultrasound and Medicine Basic Science Community of Practice. We are honored to have her here today with us to offer her commencement message to our graduates.
Good morning. It's my great pleasure to be with you here today, family and friends, faculty and administrators, as we join together to celebrate the graduates, to whom I say enthusiastically, congratulations. You have secured an advanced degree in a discipline of engineering, an accomplishment that I hope brings you great pride and satisfaction. This is your moment, well earned, so sit back and take in the pomp and circumstance devoted to celebrating you and applauding your many accomplishments. From seemingly endless hours devoted to problem sets and projects, to hands-on problem solving during industry internships and laboratory research experiences, you have proven, once again, that you are capable of combining your great intellect with your strong perseverance to achieve ambitious goals. Now what? Where do you go from here? Well, there's the simple and immediate answer to that question. I'm going out to lunch with my family to celebrate, or I'm going to hang out with my friends for one last time before we go our separate ways, or I'm going home to binge watch Netflix and give my brain the rest it much deserves. Then there's the slightly longer term answer to the question, where do you go from here? I'm starting a company, or I'm taking a job in industry or academics. I'm pursuing further graduate studies, or I'm joining a branch of the military or the Peace Corps, or pursuing another form of public service. While these answers are entirely appropriate, and while these are the exciting plans that many of you hoped for when you crossed your first threshold as a student on this campus, I suspect that for many of you, those answers are not entirely satisfying. They answer the question asked, where do you go from here? However, that question doesn't fully capture what I think you really want to know, what we all want to know. I think a better way to phrase the question may be, what will my life become? Will I be happy? Will I be fulfilled? Will my life have meaning and purpose? Will I wake up in the morning to enthusiastically pursue my goals? What will I do in the face of adversity? The answers to these questions, of course, are much more challenging to derive, and they can't be gleaned by looking at your calendar or a map. Rather, answering these questions requires some deep introspection and sincere evaluation of who you are, who you want to become, and whom you admire. Personally, the people I admire most, the people who live or have lived their lives in the manner in which I wish to live mine, are not people anyone else in this room have heard of. They are not among the outrageously wealthy or the most elite of scientists. They did not alter history in any recognized way, and they never received or wanted accolades for their work. The people I admire most did everything they could with the limited resources they had to not only bring themselves, but also the people around them through circumstances that challenged the human spirit. My hero, my maternal grandmother, who I knew as Nona, was a mother to 4 children, one of them a newborn, my mother, when her husband, along with most other men in her rural southern Italian village, were recruited into Mussolini's army during World War II. Food was scarce, the economy was devastated, and she struggled to feed her children and keep them healthy. Medical care was practically unavailable because most doctors were called to the war effort, but a traveling physician visited her community on occasion. During one such visit, Nona asked the doctor to teach her the basic skills she needed to serve the medical needs of the people in her town. She was frustrated and saddened by watching people suffer, and she was desperate to help them. She began serving the sick with no formal medical education, and the people she helped had no capacity to repay her for her work. In addition to providing medical care, she ran a government-sanctioned food distribution center out of her home because she wanted to make sure that everyone received fair and proper rations. And when neighbors lacked sufficient food or the fuel to prepare it, she took portions from her own and her children's plates to make dishes for them. At her funeral about 11 years ago, the large church in her small town was full, and people were lined up outside to pay their respects. One neighbor told me, "If ever I have been blessed enough to meet a saint, it was your grandmother." I'm sure that, like me, many of you have family or loved ones who faced incredible hardship with courage and compassion for others. Unsung heroes who put their hands out to help up the people around them with nothing more than their grit and their faith to rely on. Everyday people who, when faced with unexpected challenges, didn't run or hide, but rather bravely marched forward. How did they do it? And do we have the capacity to be like them? I was recently faced with a challenge I never wanted, an unexpected health crisis for a beloved family member. I was overwhelmed by the illness and felt hopeless in its dark shadow. then someone shared with me the Sanskrit proverb I will share with you now. Look to this day, for it is life, the very life of life. In its brief course lie all the realities and the truths of existence, the joy of growth, the splendor of action, the glory of power. For yesterday is but a memory, and tomorrow is only a vision. But today, well lived, makes yesterday a memory of happiness, and every tomorrow a vision of hope. Look well, therefore, to this day. This proverb oriented me to a new framework for approaching not only my loved one's illness, but also my life more broadly. An approach that I believe my grandmother and others like her must have embraced. Take each day and be the best you can be that day, without regret over the past or worry for the future, without fear or self-doubt. Focus on what is possible today. Now, for many of us who still regret not taking that extra elective in undergrad that would have taught us everything we needed to know about American politics or Renaissance art or botany, and for those of us who started planning our academic trajectory and career pathways in elementary school, this proverb presents a rather challenging approach to life. Let go of the past, stop worrying about the future, focus on living life as best as possible today, and trust that you will be able to do so in the future. How enabling, how freeing. To me, the proverb explains, and my grandmother's example demonstrates, that each of us has within the capacity for greatness, great achievement, great leadership, great service, great kindness, great ability to overcome setbacks. Our greatness is inherent, and by releasing the tethers of regret, worry, fear, and self-doubt, we allow our greatness to carry us forward one day at a time. So getting back to my original question, where do you go from here? The path you will follow is largely unknown, as are the obstacles you will face along the way. But you are well equipped for the journey with a moral compass to orient you, a backpack full of tools, your education, and the love and support of your family and friends for nourishment. As you take your next steps, do so confidently and intentionally. Be present to feel the sunshine on your face, the wind on your skin, and when necessary, the aching in your legs. For each step, no matter how big or small, heading up or downhill, brings your greatness farther into the world. My best wishes to you all.
Thank you, Dr. Gallippi, for those inspirational words for us to make a difference in the world each and every day. At this point, we would like to begin our departmental awards, and first I'd like to invite Professor Fan Yuan up to the podium for the Biomedical Engineering Department Awards.
Good morning. It's my great pleasure to present the Excellence in Biomedical Engineering Award to 4 students who are going to graduate with the highest GPA in their classes. So 2 of them will receive a Master of Engineering degree. They are Caterina M and Enoch Chang. Would you please come to the podium? Would you please come to the podium? And the other 2 students will receive the Master of Science degree. They are Zhao Ma and Xiao Peng.
And now I'd like to invite Professor Mark Borsick to the podium to present awards for civil and environmental engineering.
Good morning. I'm pleased to announce the awards for outstanding students in the Civil and Environmental Engineering Department. The first is a Master of Engineering student, Karen Saunders. And our outstanding student in the Master of Science program is Lauren Fry.
And now I would like to introduce Professor Chonghua Chen from the Department of Mechanical Engineering and Material Science to introduce their student awards.
The Department of Mechanical Engineering and Material Science holds an annual forum for master's research in which both MS and MN students showcase their work, guided by Duke faculty. Each year we'll present the Best Poster Award to recognize outstanding research work. This year's Best Poster Award for master's research goes to Ms. Jingjin Song. Congratulations. She did her work with Dr. Warjin, who's sitting on the stage.
And now is the moment you've all been waiting for. This is our opportunity to hood and to celebrate our graduates. And so just wanted to speak for a moment about the history associated with hooding graduates. So as we hood our graduates, it's really the celebration of these students earning a level of academic attainment. The academic regalia that we wear actually traces back to medieval times. And so by honoring the students with this hood, we are welcoming them to this community of scholars. Now, one of the things that you'll notice today is that some of the students' hoods have yellow collars and some of the others have orange collars. So our Master of Science students are receiving orange collared hoods representing a Master of Science degree, and our Master of Engineering students have an orange collared hood representing an engineering degree. So that helps you understand a little bit of the differences. And so at this point, I will like to introduce Bridget Fletcher. She's our Director of Graduate Communications and Intercultural Programs, and she'll be presenting our graduates.
We'll start with the Biomedical Engineering students. If the first row could please rise. These students will be hooded by Dr. Fan Yuan. Alex Shu. Kyle Jansen. Maximiliano Kunze Kulmir. Michael Good. Hannah Grossman. Deepthi Gopinath. Sharon Sangermano. Edward Wyckoff. Zhao Ma. Xiao Peng. Haoran Zhang. Yi Jiao. Carrie Kim. Haley Patel. Prakash Sundar. Lindsay Hully. William Carson IV. Alan Register. Xiao Yu Tong. Zeyang Gao. Beryl Arinda. Emmanuel Opalat Ainyat. Shomit Mondal. Alejandro Noboa Laval. Renwei Wang. Enoch Chang. Zhiwei Kang. Suhela Amelia Noor. Aaron Emmons. Let's have another round of applause for our BME graduates. We'll now begin with civil and environmental engineering. Those students will be hooded by Dr. Mark Borsick. Rudula Magana Kappa. Anna Henreen Burkok. Sorry, it's handwritten. I didn't have a chance to practice. Brandon Hunter. Romaine Campbell. Pei Chen. Zetian Zhang. Karen Saunders. Lucas Rocha Melogno. Rachel Kenyon. Jake Ulrich. Lauren Fry. Let's have another round of applause for our civil and environmental engineering students. We'll now move on to mechanical engineering and material science. If those students could please rise. And these graduates will be hooded by Dr. Chuanhua Chen. Nice job. Matthew Hawkins. Wen Tao Ma. Hao Cheng Yang. Misha Shavchenka. Ze Yao Peng. Wei Hang Luo. Bei Ping Chiu. Jingjing Song. Yurei Zhang. Dongyao Lei. Shreyas Hegde. Tim Georgeson. Nicolás de Porras Isla Fernández. Daniel Conley. Ryan Conley. Yue Wang. Luke Morrison. Kasta Brahmachandran Kunisi Sekar. Sri Suhruth Ramasethi. Zhua Miao Xie. Qian Jia Zhang. Wen Chao Zhu. Spencer White. Haojue Wang. Yifan Guo. Eduardo Iturbide Rodriguez. Selena Huang. Hongxin Hua. William Koshut. Wei Dong Sun. Let's have a huge hand for all of our graduates. It's now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Deb Wojcik.
Thank you, Bridget. Thank you to all of our distinguished faculty and speakers, and thank you, our honored guests, for being here to celebrate this wonderful day. It is my pleasure to not only congratulate you graduates, but also welcome you into the Forever Duke family. As a fellow Duke alum, I can tell you that membership brings great benefits. Please take advantage of the connections that you have made with the students who sit with you today, for those who came before you, and for those to come after you. In fact, you may hear from us asking you to connect with students who may be interested in the Duke engineering experience here with us, and we ask you to stay engaged. Help us to find the next future class of alumni. So, it is my great distinction to offer the last great round of applause for our graduates. I invite all of you, now that we are standing, I invite you to remain standing if you wish, but let's allow our graduates to recess. Please remain in your seats until they have left, and then you may follow them to the landing for a reception to continue the celebration. Thank you, congratulations, and go Duke.
Produced by Duke University, online at duke.edu.